Hope you've had a good break, folks. Hope you've been enjoying the RLCS action in the meantime, but it's time to get back to the rival series and to the play-ins where there are still 3 spaces up for grabs in league play. We've already seen the likes of RCD Espanyol. We've already seen the likes of Widem Girls, RGM, and Team Vertex making their way into Season 9. Who is going to join them, though? Well, first of all, who's joining you? Well, we wave goodbye to Eternal J and to Digital Bacon. Thank you so much for your coverage earlier on. I'm Ira Leak, joined by my good friend Jar of Jam, of course, Tractor Manager, broadcasting in the background. We have 3 matches coming up for us, Jam, all based off the lower bracket runs that some teams have joined later than others. Of course, our first match, though, is a bit of... it's an interesting one, I feel, because we talked about Team Vertex earlier. Well, the Team Vertex of days gone by knocked out both of these teams. RJM, featuring Rizex, knocked out Servette, Geneva Esports, and Block were knocked out by the current incarnation of Team Vertex. 2 teams which have a lot to prove. Of course, Servette massive in the Swiss scene. Zaffair being a 3 times Swiss champion. Block, featuring peripheral scene talent, the likes of Exotic we've seen before. Terrian showing some good things. Mellow as well. They've got the likes of Porto as their sub, who has had plenty of experience in the bubble scene. I'll be honest, it's difficult to tell which way this one is going to go, Jam. I mean, if you were to flip a coin, maybe Servette comes out on top, given that they have plenty of experience playing together, that they want to do well for the Swiss scene. But Zaffair in particular, I think, is going to be that standout player who might not necessarily have... I don't think it's a skill/talent thing necessarily, as a mentality sort of thing. And as I say, he's won the Swiss League 3 times, so he's got a winning mentality.
And most importantly, the last season of TCS Esports League, Servette swept the league, swept the finals as well, haven't dropped a single game, finals played at LAN. As such, they have the experience, they have really everything running up for them. They haven't had the best of showing against RGM with Mike Boy, Rizex, and Justice, but here they have their second chance against Block, who, the moment that roster has gone together, I think everyone thought, wow, this team, all these players together, this should be a threat. And I'm pretty sure that Block should be a threat. We've already seen him once today, and fans of these French players would hopefully, we're staying with us for all of this time, eager to see their team play again for the remaining spot.
Of course, none of these teams are feeling too bad necessarily about their situation. It's been Sweep City so far. If you've only just joined us, all 3-0 sweeps to make their way through. Has that ever happened before in EU Rival Series play-ins? I don't think it has, where every single team that has qualified so far has 3-0 swept. Will that keep up as we head into this effectively mini tournament arc now? It's its own mini bracket to decide who goes through. The sad thing, honestly, Jam, is that out of the 4 teams that we're going to see today, one of them's going home. And you don't want to be that odd one out. So the pressure really is on now to make a positive impression. And I think for not just these 2 teams, but of course our other side of the bracket, which is going to be the boys versus the Awkward Turtles. A lot of, if not top tier, then second tier experience in that match as well. They've got to put it all out on the table now, because that 3rd place tie break is going to be breaking in another sense. It's going to be heartbreaking to know that you were 1 match away. You got to that final last chance saloon opportunity and you still weren't good enough. The pressure is going to be ever building throughout the next 2 hours or so.
It really doesn't get any late chance saloon than this. It's basically yet another double elimination bracket for them. And for 2 of the teams, specifically the 2 of the teams that we'll be seeing right now on our screens, if they qualify for the Rival Series, this will be their first time experience in the upper tiers of Rocket League. None of these players have ever played in RLCS or the Rival Series. And for both the teams, this will be such a big feather to put in their caps, and as such, their battle, I'd say it's going to be legendary.
It's a prized accolade indeed to even make it to the 2nd tier. Which of these teams is going to make their way through, though? In the blue, it is going to be Block. In the orange, it's going to be Servette. The battle for the Rival Series begins now, the final stages. And it begins with some early pressure from Servette. Shot on target from Zaffair. Another shot comes in, goes high. And trying to break out to their own half now are Block, who want a decent start themselves. I don't think they showed their true capabilities in their match earlier on. Of course, a reminder, both of these teams losing against what became of the Team Vertex roster. It's split off into two sections, basically. Both of them now back in the rival series, so they know what it takes. They know how much more they've got to step up to make their way into those top leagues. And very testy affair, but if there was anyone on top, Jam, I'd say in the first minute or so, it would be Servette. The better opportunities, if not controlling the midfield as they would like.
They're trying to do a chip into the Block's defense. Yagi had an interesting chat for them as well. Yagi is the newcomer for the team since Zafir and Mirror were playing with a different teammate previously when they won the TCS League. Right now, still, I feel like it's a solid roster to go with, and I don't think Yagi has taken that much away from the team. Right now, we immediately see that some physical plays are already coming in. Block are resorting to those since they feel like if Servette Geneva get the player in a good position, that will be the first goal against them.
I would say that Servette are the favourites based purely on their experience alone. They've had chance to win things outside of major Rocket League events. Mira now taking out Melo Shisu, leaving Block light on defense. Yagi goes high, but no one willing to commit there as Zafir goes back into defense, knocks up into the midfield. Kerrion doesn't have enough boost to carry, and Mira's going to bring this right back into the blue half, looking to get another dunk. Misses the angle. Zafir keeps it alive. Kerrion goes up high. Yagi's going to battle away. The 50-50 goes in Block's favour. Counter-attack from Melo Shisu. And a miss from Zafir in the danger area. But Melo Shisu couldn't have known. He had to try and predict what he could. Ultimately, it's another Servette attack which is destroyed. It's broken down by Exotic and then Melo.
Servette Geneva were playing it risky. They came so close to scoring a goal of their own, but the counter-attack had all the signs of being as deadly as ever. Block themselves just not ready for the miss, and definitely nobody in Servette Geneva defense was ready for this play. Straight through Carrion, you see Melo just trying to bring the ball in, and that double commit puts a curse on Servette Geneva. Too eager to clear that ball out, and right at the midpoint of the game, we got our first goal.
The worst point on the field on which to double commit is the backboard, because there's no way to counter-attack from back there if you find yourself in a not-so-good position. That's exactly where Exotic and Melo are, though. Are they about to do what they got dealt with? Servette not able to capitalize. And Exotic now brings this forward. Oh, going for the waterfall shot. I think that was Melo up there. Zafir sees Yagi. The 1-2. Yagi continuing this. Got the boost to work with, but Kerrion on the backboard brings it down to Exotic. The direct pass coming through. Exotic susses out Zafir, but Yagi third man in, looking to get this round the corner. But again, the Servette rotations just looking to solidify rather than looking to become tighter and tighter, and they know just how difficult this block team can be to break down. They know how deadly they can be on the counter-attack, and for block keeping the ball, defending well, that's all they need to do for now. One goal lead is precarious though, Jam.
I think there's a little bit more of patience on the side of Servette Geneva, whereas Block sometimes go for a more eager place. Right now they're still in the lead, and perhaps they need to tune it down just a little bit. No hasty decisions from a Block. Otherwise, the tying goal will cross all the effort that they've already put in this game. Only 2 shots, but the Block are managing to hold on to that lead. So Servette Geneva still haven't found that ultimate, that finalizing move. Maybe this will be it. Again, defenders are out, but Zafir and the rest of the Servette Geneva squad are very slowly approaching that blue net, as if they really don't want to score the goal. They only have 60 seconds to do so. They better hurry.
Miro just gave up possession freely to Melo. And this block team is not really needing to get out of first gear for the moment. Exotic backpedaling onto the backboard. Lovely car control there to bring that one down, and Zafir a little too far forward. Again, just knocks the ball up high, but keeping the ball alive and getting a good scoring opportunity out of it are two very different things. And I think that's something that Servette have struggled with massively over the course of these 5 minutes. Is yes, they've opened up the chances, but that was honestly the best chance of the game for Servette, directly at the defenders. Overcommitment from Servette, not punished as the ball goes wide. 15 seconds left. Is there anything doing for Servette? I think that's another double commit as Yagi gets it into the center and bottom left corner from Servette. We were talking about that winning mentality just before this game, Jam, and that is the cool level-headedness that you need to put that one away. 10 seconds left, tie game.
Yagi, I think, just put on his cape and the costume of a Superman and just tried to pull a Superman move himself. And that happened. His pass was crucial for Servette Geneva to getting in front of the net. They finally broke that defense. The bus of the block was eventually moved. It's just that it took a little bit of overcommit from them in Servette Geneva. That was good. They finally traded that conservativeness in their play for some aggression. But the fact is, we're already seeing them suffer in their defense the moment they overcommit too much. And Block still have a chance to take this game away from Servette Geneva, no matter how many shots Servette had, no matter how much possession they had.
A reminder, folks, in this best of five, in all the best of fives that you're going to see today, promotion on the line. There will be a second chance for the team that loses in these next couple of games. But you really want to get it done at the first time of asking. Overtime then in game number 1. And Block certainly coming out of the blocks, the better team so far. Mello drops it down. Mello double taps. Affair navigates his way around. Coming up strong is the 3 times Swiss winner. Exotic. Trying to make his way through the defense again. Zafir's there. Exotic on target. Yagi. Weak clearance. Straight to Kerrion, who sees Mello. Zafir again, so quick to close down the play before the shot really came off. Mirror wing on the wing. Down to Yagi. Oh my word! What a goal! Servette with the first win on the board. That play was so quick, Jam. And that just highlights great communication to me between the two. I was shocked by how well aware those two were of where they were on the pitch. Yagi coming in clutch with the assist for the first goal. Yagi coming in clutch with the goal that sees them 1-0 up in the series. Block. If I were them, I would have been stunned by what just happened because it all came and went in a flash of an eye.
I was as flabbergasted as you were, our league. The fact was, I was expecting a goal from Block because the moment the overtime hit, Block took the control of the game in their own hands. You could see they were just setting up plays, 3 players all ready to do something in front of Servette Geneva's net.
Yeah.
But they couldn't find a finisher. And a good clear plus another show of aggression helped Servette Geneva to finally break that deadlock that they had in the regulation time. And it helped and it worked. And Servette Geneva certainly will be happy. But they still need to fine-tune that balance between being extra defensive and ultra careful, not committing too many players, and actually doing so. Because Block definitely have gaps in their defense. It's just that Servette Geneva were not always able to quickly utilize that. They were sitting down pretty deep, but Block were giving chances to Servette Geneva, and that's the more important bit. Servette Geneva, if they up their pace just a little bit, if they just put an inch forward, I think the scoreline is going to be much different in this regulation time.
I mean, the stats back up the close scoreline. It was 10 shots to 7 in favor of Servette.
Let's see. The problem is Block only got about 5 of them in the overtime.
Yes.
Rest of them regulation quiet as a mouse.
That's a very good thing to pick up on, actually, as Mello takes out Mirror in the back line. Yagi almost forced into the OG. We've seen a couple of rather spectacular ones this weekend already across the Rocket League scene. It was good improvisation from Mello to force what could have been a disastrous error in the opening 30 seconds of game number 2. Exotic fires this one onto the backboard. Zafir is there. Pass off to Yagi, who puts this one into the corner. Again, Kerrion, good awareness down to Exotic. Forces the Servette defense into, well, defense. Kerrion, oh my word, almost able to slice that one past Zafir. The corners were covered. And I'm slightly worried about Servette here, Jam, because they're basically doing what you told them not to do. They're going ultra defensive, and they have been made to play Exotic 1-0, 4 minutes.
The whole 1 minute of game 2 so far has been solely in the orange half of the field. Block, despite losing the previous game, despite succumbing to that counterattack, did not stop what they've started in the overtime, and that was complete and utter control. somebody has flipped the switch. These the teams and their purpose on the field, their play style has completely swapped sides. And for now, Servette Geneva can possibly dwell on this. They need to be much quicker. Just that, I don't know, sleeping darts were shot in that direction. Because Servette Geneva are no longer looking like the game won selves.
Melo called off there as Kerrion in a much better position with a bit more boost. Helps the play along, double commit between himself and Exotic. It might actually work out. Servette doesn't know which way to go. Kerrion infield, Melo with a lovely goal. What a team move from Block, who are really coming into their stride.
I'm so surprised that this is the goal that we saw. Block were looking like double commit. Servette Geneva have all the time, but Mirror either lacking boost or just not expecting Melo to come in so quickly. He was just standing there, and Mirrorwing paid for that. You can't possibly play so passively in front of your own net when you don't have a goalie behind you, when you have not closed the angle right. Block are just using Servette Geneva as a practice tools. They think, all right, these are like 3 dummies placed on the field. We're just going to out-dribble them, outplay them. It's a training pack for them right now with the way that Servette Geneva are playing counterattack. Won't even happen because Exotic's back there.
And with Melo, he just got caught napping, although he's right up the other end, and Exotic was double thinking about whether he should commit to that. It might have been 3-0 had he committed. Safety the better part of valor, though, especially when you're battling for a place in the rival series. Exotic has got no boost to work with, trying to suss out the entire defense. Up comes Kerrion, backboard, double tap, 3-0, surely it's off the post, and Melo hits the other post. So close to 3-0, 3 times in the past 30 seconds, Jam. I hope they don't live to regret that.
My goodness, that was, despite lacking boost on him, still, Block managed to pull out 3 defenders of Servette Geneva. And only by the fact that the ball went into the corner in a little bit of an recoverable position did not allow Block to really put it on the net, which was devoid of any defense from the side of Servette Geneva. And they will return back in again. They're already at 12 shots. Block in this game. We only have close to 3 minutes played. Complete another turnaround. And while Servette Geneva breathed a sigh of relief in the first game, right now they'll be clutching to their hearts and pulling out their hair again. This is not what they've expected from the team.
They'll be tempted to rename themselves to Shoot if they keep this one up. Zaffair onto the backboard, helped on by Exotic, and again, Zaffair's just left looking at the rest of his team, hoping that someone's going to be following up on a shot or on a pressure play, and no one is really there. That one almost going in. Zaffair, cool as you like. But coolness is not what is called for here, Jam. You are 2-0 down. Make that 3-0 down after winning your first game. Good news for us as casters. This doesn't look like it's going to be a 3-0 sweep. Bad news for Servette. This has been a nightmare game.
I mean, there's a difference between cool, cold, and stone cold dead. And right now, it's how Servette Geneva are looking to me. They're not present. They're just not doing the things you would expect from a team of such caliber to do. They are lost on the field. They are having stage jitters. And it's a pretty big stage. Once again, you win this, you qualify into the rival series for the next season. That is immediately, even if you finish last, that's already a big prize pool that you're a part of. But Servette Geneva, with all that pedigree that they had in the Swiss scene, they're not showing it right now against this French outfit. And I really want to see more. Otherwise, this won't be a 3-0. This is going to be a 3-1 with how Block are playing and how Servette does.
Is this on target? I think that was on target. I think that was saved by Zaffair. In comes Exotic again. It really is. Servette have gone from lackadaisical to a little bit lost to just panic on defense. Given a bit of a reprieve here is Exotic with the feels bad backflip. Kerrion with the save. It goes into the box, but again, a nice solid clear from Melo. The ball really going nowhere. It seems like Servette is caught in the wrong position all the time, Jam. Like, I wouldn't be so worried if they looked competitive in this game, but they really didn't. And as the clock ticks down, that is a very strong response from Block, who never looked in doubt of losing that game. The momentum is with them, my friend. And boy, oh boy, do the 19 shots that they were able to serve up there on the Servette net back me up on that one.
Unfortunately, I don't have the numbers from a previous game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Block either equaled or outshot both of the teams in the previous game with the way that they've completely killed Servette.
It was 10 shots for Servette, 7 shots for Block.
So they did.
Yes, they did. They outshot both teams in the last game.
It is something else, really. For Servette Geneva, I feel like perhaps they're like one little piece is missing and then it just breaks the whole pyramid down. You pull that one block in Jenga and just completely falls apart. And they're still trying to sort of get into the rhythm, get into the usual motions, and they just can't do that. Perhaps this break in between the games will help them just a little, because right now I feel like they should not be playing this familiar game. They should just completely shake it off and say, all right, we need a reset. None of what we're doing right now is working. We need to really approach this from step one. First, we need to really make sure that what we're doing is right. You mentioned the fact that every single time that Servette Geneva touch the ball, it just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And I've seen plenty of that. If that could be their first step, just make sure that every single touch you make, at least a majority of them, are with a purpose. Otherwise, I'm going to touch it. I'm going to boom it somewhere. Why are they... well, let's put 2 players on it for no reason whatsoever. Servette Geneva know better, and I've seen them do much better than this. But for now, Block, I think Block are playing pretty good. But it's also the quality of the play that Servette Geneva are showing that's making Block look so great.
Yeah, it's Servette, I think, to follow up on my previous point of the ball's not really going anywhere positive. Worst case scenario is that they actually help the opposition team. They actually aid the potential opportunities that might open themselves up. Servette aren't doing themselves any favors so far. And it really does make me question, were Block just playing that poorly in game number 1 that Servette were able to come away with the win? What were they doing so differently in game number 1 that worked? Because, and again, I can't emphasize this enough, the general status quo is if you put 10 shots on net in a second tier, first tier Rocket League game, you've had a really good day in the offense on the offense, as long as you convert those shots into goals. We almost had 20 on the side of Block. There were 11 saves from Servette. So it wasn't just wayward shots, hopefully going towards the net. They were good opportunities that were being carved out by Block, and that came through a combination of things. But I guarantee you, if we look back on that game again through replays and looking in depth at the opportunities, the majority of those were through Servette mistakes or through a lack of direction in the Servette midfield. I think reset is exactly the right thing that they need to do. They will be thankful for server maintenance this one time, because if things keep going the way that they were in game 2, Jam, then it might not be a 3-0 sweep, but it's going to be hurtling towards a 3-1 defeat very quickly.
It might be just that. Feels like that Servette Geneva and Servette Geneva and Block have exchanged roles in those 2 games that we already saw, or even in the first game when the Block really took the reins of the game in the overtime. The fact was, it's hard to break the flow and the possession that your opponent has, and we saw that, I think, the better of it all in game number 2, where Block just kept on doing the same old thing, as Servette couldn't find an answer, couldn't find a tool anywhere to sort of unlock this control that Block had. This here with game number 3, with the kickoff once again allowing them to just approach it their own way, I feel like this is a perfect chance for the Servette to take the game in their own hands from the very beginning and say, right, ball is ours. We're not going to allow you to do the same, not allow you to have the same freedom in our own half. We're not going to allow you to just set up a play easily without just staring at it. No. Yeah. We're going to take it right from the very word go, and we're going to control it. If they don't do that, nothing is stopping Block from just continuing the steamroll from the game 2.
Let's see whether the steamroll continues then, shall we? Break over. Let's hope that they've reset Servette. Game 3 is a go in the battle for promotion.
Oh, that's so...
That's literally the worst thing. That's literally the worst thing that could possibly happen. Oh my word.
And Mirror thought he was doing the right thing. I think that was demo on Exotic. But that demo took him out of the play, and so Melo had absolutely no trouble putting it straight on target. Well, call it off. No reset, it seems. It is a horrible handicap that Servette Geneva has just given their opposition. The opposite of what they wanted to do. Maybe now nobody's close. They feel like they're playing with a delay. They're going for places where the ball was just a moment ago, but not where it's gonna be. Read Servette Geneva. I'm pretty sure you have them. For whatever reason, that part of their gameplay is currently not working.
Servette got shot on the battlefield, were able to be recovered to the hospital, and then someone went into their hospital room and stabbed them.
Oof.
It was like, it literally could not go any more wrong. And that confidence, so brittle, I would surely imagine, after game number 2, has got to have been shattered by this point. There were some decent shows of an early rebuttal there in the last 30 seconds or so. But once again, Block has no reason to worry right now, because they're riding whatever storm comes their way, and every single offensive drive that these guys are putting together looks dangerous. And again, going back to that point of Servette isn't doing themselves any favor. Part of that is because Servette don't really know what way to go out of defense. A rare shot then in the last 5 minutes from Zafir, on target but easily saved. Carrion with a rare miss. These are the moments which Servette need to pounce on. Backboard, mirror wing, saved by Melo. And Yagi again, Melo coming with a second save.
But why does it take Servette Geneva such a long time to get into the attack? Block were so vulnerable on that attempt. Finally, they have an opening. Finally, a save comes in, and the clear is not strong enough for Block, something that has been plaguing Servette Geneva. Servette Geneva, 2 of the players that weren't participating in the shot are just chilling at the midpoint line. I understand, again, trying to play as safe as possible, don't want to overcommit, don't want to concede on the counterattack, but at some point, enough is enough. You need to go for those. Servette Geneva, please, if you can hear me out there in Switzerland, please, could you just go for it?
They did just go for it, but when they needed him most, Zafir missed. Oh, that goal that got them into overtime, game number 1. All seems oh so far away now. Yagi gets the block in the midfield, but still the 50-50 essentially won by Carrion. Loose ball into the midfield, pounced upon by Exotic. Zafir regains control before Carrion throws it back onto the sidewall. Mirror wing to Yagi, again going high. I would understand going towards the backboard as a strategy to make your offensive plays, Jam, but I don't think it's worked for them once. And when Melo Shisu brings out a gorgeous redirect like that, you've got to ask, was there any point in turning up today?
The fact was, Servette Geneva were just playing against 2 defenders of Block because Melo went all the way to the other end of the field for boost. And yet still Servette Geneva could not break that defense. It is rough. And somebody might call me biased by the fact that I'm just begging Servette Geneva to start doing something. And I will be honest, I have some friends and colleagues over in Switzerland, but it's just that I've seen what Servette Geneva can do. I have the utmost respect for them. And right now, I'm feeling that they're not pulling their weight, not even slightly. Exotic and the rest of the block right now are just sailing through. Everything that they're doing is going well. And that, on top of the already existing control of the game, is a snowball of the proportions that Servette Geneva might not just be able to stop.
I'll tell you what, we had some pretty heavy rain in the UK today. It was the largest storm in 10 years, they called it. Well, I don't think that storm really quite compares to the scrutiny and the pressure and the worry that is currently befalling on Servette. I agree with you entirely. We've both seen what they can do. We both know what Servette is capable of. And perhaps what is most frustrating for us as Rocket League fans is that they're performing underneath
Dagger, another one.
But I mean, yeah, Carrion with an outstanding save. You make your own luck in Rocket League most of the time, Jam, but sometimes it's just not your day. And right now, Servette's day seems a very, very long way off in the calendar. An open net beckons for Melo Shisu. All he needs to get is a touch. 4-0.
What else can we say about this game? But Servette Geneva has just been stabbed, punched, dismembered. I'm gonna tone it down before we get closed and put a 18+ tag on the channel. But the matter of the fact is, Servette Geneva, they had a good day up until this point. And bravo, there's their first goal. Time is still remaining. It's just the fact is that was not a deserved goal. I don't think so. That was not something that they really worked hard for. That is not the way you win games, especially with the amount of goals that Block Block have already scored so far. They know that there will be goals from Block Block. Servette Geneva just something. At least this will be something that will sweeten their very, very bitter pill, and something that perhaps will give them a glimmer of hope for the fourth game. Otherwise, Servette Geneva will have to go yet again. But after this, man, they just look completely heartbroken on field.
Melo trying to solo his way through defense, and yeah, it's such an interesting mental complex, really, moving into our final game of the day, which will be between the two losers of these two upper bracket games. I say upper brackets with sort of inverted commas there, purely because we are in a mini tournament here. It's a mini tournament that Block is flourishing in. Will they be able to get a fourth or fifth rather? No, they're just going to kill the game there. I don't blame them. They've already given up a consolation goal to Servette. They do not want to give them any more incentive to make their way back into the game. Now, those stats are startling, where we had 19 shots against less than 10 in game number 2, Jam. Block only with 9 shots on target this time, so -10. Kerrion without a single shot on target himself. Servette with 11. More shots on target, yet 4-1 the scoreline. Big problems in the midfield and the defense of methinks, if not in offense as well.
It is Servette Geneva's approach to the game so far. In a way, much better from them. I'd say, if I had to say, maybe 50-50 a ball possession time for each one of the teams. It's just that Servette Geneva, when they had possession, it was wasted. They could bring one shot. One of these shots that you mentioned during the game was the fair shot through the flank. I think that was intended to be a pass, but then nobody from Servette Geneva was close enough to attack on it. And we've seen this repeat over and over again throughout the game. Servette Geneva make the first shot. There's a save from Block. And that's it. Nobody's even close. Servette Geneva came really close at the very end. They started sieging Block's net. But once again, Block, all 3 players were in defense. No double commits. No really hard moves that made Block completely lose their composure in the defense. And Servette Geneva just couldn't break on through this because all they had was one shot. Maybe a second shot, but it came so late. Then there's absolutely no effect on it. They got the shots, it's just that they were absolutely not efficient. Look at the other side of the team of Block. Every single time they had a chance, in many of the time, they converted it. They didn't need that many shots. All they needed was just to make sure that they are going in. Kerrion, again, they are just tearing the heart apart from Servette Geneva. Nothing is working for Servette. Everything is working for Block.
Everything about that Servette play was perfect, apart from the fact that a defender still managed to save what was almost a certain goal. 6 players on the field who have never tasted rival series action before. 3 of those players might be tasting it in a week's time if they win this game. Melo, his team not with him on this occasion, and now Zafir looking counter-attack of sorts. Kerrion, the ball loose, the ball in Yagi's hands, the ball in Exotic's hands though, and Zafir trying to keep up the pressure, but his team are there again, but not really. Melo downfield, Exotic, he's got Yagi on the end of a fishing pole here, and oh my word, the ball was tickling the goal there, but it still didn't go through.
Well, right, Servette Geneva finally giving Block a little bit taste of their own medicine. Those saves were crucial on the Swiss side. But look at that, more attacks are coming in. Melo will just be setting up Kerrion. And Servette Geneva just relaxed for a second. They were, I think, celebrating that great defense. And then, another time, just too late. Too easy for Block to carve that defense open. Not enough time spent defending their net. And Servette Geneva, we're holding on for 2 minutes. And with the game so equal, they might be able to get back into this one, but need to do it quick. On this one, Yagi just too... I wouldn't even say too eager. He got a lot of power on that, but that was straight from Block. Already had not one, but two players already. A little bit more inventiveness is needed from Servette Geneva. Otherwise, it is over.
Jam, it goes back to that game 2 problem which I highlighted. Best case, well, the problem is that the balls that they're trying to clear from their own half are directionless. Worst case scenario, they help out the opposition team. And that's exactly what happened. Mira just gifted it up. Mello, had that ball been a few degrees to the right, would have been goal number 2. Again, a few degrees to the right. Goal number 2 would have been Exotics. Servette are lucky, surely thankful, that this is still a 1-goal scoreline, triple commit in net. And Exotic tries to fly away. Yagi, not using his boost early enough, can't challenge the ball. Mira again goes up high. Zafair forced to come in from miles out just to challenge the ball, let alone get a shot on target. They're flailing, but they're failing, and they're failing even harder now. There is goal number 2 for Exotic, and Block can taste the rival series.
It's right there. It's right there on the end of that pass. Another one just comes in straight through Servette Geneva's defense. Backboard just gives all the fruits of labor for Block. Same definitely cannot be said for Servette. With 2 goals down, and while they're still toe-to-toe in shot count, it's just that I don't see them really breaking that defense. Block has pulled out some fantastic blocks on their own side, no pun intended. And Servette Geneva at times felt like it was just too much, but too many chances were Servette Geneva that were easy to make, that were easy to score. That one, just nobody close enough. Right now they need the pressure. Who's there? Zafair, maybe make a pass. This is fantastic, but too easy to read. Exotic don't only have Servette Geneva's number, they have their social security number, they have the pins to their credit cards, maybe a password to that one specific site that nobody wants to know. Block just read it all, and they know exactly how to play against Swiss.
It's what you do in the face of fear and pressure, which really tells you what sort of player you're dealing with. I see one team here, Jam, who has thrived in this scenario. I see one team who is showing cracks everywhere in their play. It's still block in possession. It's still block offense. You said it so perfectly. Servette's plays, they may look pretty in the build-up, but they're too easy to read in that final crucial part where we say Servette have scored. Backboard for Mello, triple commit. Bakarian is already back in defense. He sees Mello on the far side. Mello doesn't even feel the need to follow up on it. 10 seconds left to find something, anything for Servette, but you'll see there on your screen, Exotic has created a demolition in the midfield. Mello goes to the backboard. Yagi gets a touch, but time, I'm afraid, is up for Servette Geneva Esports, at least for now. Block, our rival series material. They have qualified, and Servette Geneva are left licking their wounds. 2 goals in game number 1, one of them coming in overtime. After that, Jam, they scored 1 further goal, and that was it. I worry for them going into the tiebreaker playoff, because that was as bruising a defeat as you could possibly hope to imagine, or fear to imagine, I guess is the better way of saying it.
No, I don't think anyone wants to imagine this. You come into this one thinking, all right, we're gonna get this, we're good. And really, Servette Geneva are not a bad team by no stretch of imagination. No, they made it to the plains. They made it to this point. It is, again, last chance for them to get it. Still, we're gonna get the second chance in the very last game of the day. The only problem is, with the way that have they been showing here, and with the way that allows Block to completely turn the game around after the first match, where it was Servette Geneva for 5 minutes, and it was Block for however long the overtime has went. But whoever Servette Geneva will be playing, either the Awkward Turtles with their rival series experience with Matan and Task, or whether they will be playing boys with Burita B, Calix, and a player with RLCS experience, I don't fancy Servette Geneva's chances.
I'm afraid not either. But to be fair, we still have one more game to see before we see Servette again. And who knows what sort of events could unfold there. You do not want to miss these final 2 series of the day. Coming up on your screens, another rival series spot at stake. The boys going up against the Awkward Turtles. Don't turn away.